The scent of the lilies turned my stomach the moment I saw them. They were her favorite, always had been. The white ones, long and elegant like trumpet bells, announcing some imagined grandeur. But today, they reeked of something else, not perfume, not spring, not love. Today, they smelled like mourning, like the funeral of something that once lived in my chest, something I had nurtured and protected, something now long dead. I heard the front door click open, the familiar jangle of her keys, followed by the soft creak of the hinge and the unmistakable rhythm of her heels, tapping across the hardwood floor. That sound used to fill me with warmth, anticipation. Now, every step landed like a hammer blow on my ribs. My eyes didn't lift from the pages of the book I wasn't reading. I waited. Her voice came floating in, bright and sugary, too bright. "Honey, I'm home." That fake cheeriness scraped across my skin like sandpaper. I didn't move. I just let the words hang there between us, stale and weightless. Then I heard her get closer. To close. "Oh, look," she said, the lie already forming behind her. Painted lips. "I brought you some lilies. I know how much you love them." I looked up. Her smile was plastic, hollow, and for a moment, I saw a flicker of something in her eyes, uncertainty, maybe guilt. I matched her with a smile of my own, tight and cold. "They're beautiful, Sarah." My voice didn't crack. It was calm, measured, practiced. Years of swallowing emotion had made me good at this. She turned and walked into the living room, placing the flowers in the vase we got on our second anniversary. The room looked the same. She looked the same, but nothing felt the same. She was wearing that breezy summer dress, the one that always looked her bright against the beige walls. Her blonde hair was perfect, as always, not a strand out of place, but it wasn't her anymore, not the woman I once adored. That version of Sarah was long gone, buried under layers of performance and secrets. Then she froze. I saw it happen in real time. Her eyes locked on the space above the fireplace. The color drained from her face as if someone had flipped a switch inside her. She took a shaky step forward. Where is it?" Her voice was no longer rehearsed. It came out cracked and small, and that's when I knew the performance was finally over. I didn't rush to answer. I let the silence bloom, thick and heavy between us. "What's missing, Sarah?" I asked, pretending not to know. My voice was soft but sharp. "The picture," she whispered. "Our wedding picture. Where is it?" Her words stuttered with panic as she began pacing, the rhythm of her heels now a frantic staccato instead of a confident glide. I finally closed the book and set it down gently on the coffee table. I took it down. She stopped mid-step, blinking like she hadn't heard me right. "Why?" I leaned back, resting against the couch, arms folded. "Because, Sarah, a picture is supposed to capture a truth, a moment that means something. That photo?" I tilted my head toward the empty wall. "It's a lie now." Her breath caught in her throat. Her lips trembled. "What are you talking about?" "It's a monument to a promise that doesn't exist anymore," I said. "A performance. Just like your voice when you walked in a minute ago. Like those lilies on the table. Beautiful, sure, but fake." She opened her mouth to speak, but then her expression changed. Something shifted. I watched as realization cracked through her facade. Her mask slipped, I nodded slowly, the truth finally naked between us. "Yes, I know." "How long?" she asked, barely audible. "Long enough." I didn't give her details. I didn't tell her about the burner phone I found stuffed beneath the lining of her purse. I didn't mention the hidden messages, the flirty emojis, the late-night calls she thought I didn't hear through the walls. I didn't talk about the weekends she said she was with her sister, but wasn't. I didn't tell her how I had kept receipts, literal ones, flights, hotel check-ins, everything. She took a breath. "Who is he? Does it matter?" I asked, flatly. "His name won't undo what you did. It won't unmake the nights I laid awake wondering why the woman beside me felt a million miles away." She sat down heavily on the couch, her hands trembling as she gripped the edge. Her eyes were red now, but I wasn't sure if it was from guilt or the realization that her safety net was unraveling. "I didn't know what I was doing," she muttered. I let out a breath that sounded like a laugh, but wasn't. "You knew exactly what you were doing, Sarah. You didn't trip and fall into someone else's arms. You climbed in with intention." Her sobs started softly, but I didn't move toward her. I didn't offer a hand or a shoulder. I simply reached into the side table drawer and pulled out a box. Not velvet-lined, not gift-wrapped, just cardboard, bound by a single brown string. I placed it on the coffee table. "What is this?" she asked, her voice cracking. "Everything," I said. She untied the string, slowly. Inside were papers, stacks of them, phone records, bank statements, screenshots, photos, documents, receipts of her betrayal, piece by piece. She flipped through them in silence, the color draining from her already pale face. She didn't speak, couldn't, and then I did. "It's all there. Sarah, every time you lied, every time you said you were somewhere you weren't, every late-night call, every secret rendezvous, documented, dated, undeniable." She looked up at me then, eyes wide and shattered. "I made a mistake," she whispered. I laughed again, this time louder. "No, burning dinner is a mistake. Forgetting a birthday. A mistake. This was a choice, a long, deliberate, calculated choice." Silence again, except this time, it wasn't mine, it was hers. She had no words left, only regret that came too late. "I'm leaving," I said, standing up. She blinked up at me, stunned. "Wait, what? No, you can't. I've already packed. The divorce papers are on their way. And among those files," I gestured toward the box, "you'll find a letter from my lawyer explaining how the prenup works. You might want to read it." She reached for me, but I stepped back. "The day we took that wedding photo," I said, "I believed in us. I believed in forever. But forever doesn't include lies, Sarah. It doesn't survive betrayal." Without another word, I turned and walked to the door. No yelling, no final dramatic exit, just quiet resolve. As I stepped outside, I filled my lungs with air that somehow felt lighter, fresher. The sky looked different. My chest felt different. I wasn't broken, I was finally free. And as I walked away, I didn't look back. I didn't need to. I already knew what I left behind, a room full of lies and lilies, and a woman who only realized what she had after she destroyed it. And maybe that was the most satisfying revenge of all.